Being a player in Daggerheart is a ton of fun, or so I'm told. But being a GM is just as fun. As a GM, you get to create the world the players explore, you get to create the amazing NPCs, and you get to challenge the players with adversaries. Adversaries are simply monsters or characters that are considered an opponent in some way. It could be physical, mental, or social. Adversaries are there to challenge the players in multiple ways, and being the GM, you get to run all of them. So let's talk about what adversaries are, how they work, and how to run them. Before I continue, what is an adversary you really like or have enjoyed running? Let me know in the comments. And if you're wanting more help on playing or running Daggerheart, please like and subscribe, as I'll be talking about this game more. Let's start by breaking down adversaries in Daggerheart. Adversaries are broken down by 11 different categories, all available on the adversary stat block. First off is the name. Each adversary has a unique name. Adversaries are broken down by tiers. Tiers are 4 groupings of levels covering levels 1 through 10. Tier 1 is level 1 player characters. Tier 2 is for players at levels 2 through 4. Tier 3 is player characters levels 5 through 7. And Tier 4 is levels 8 through 10. There, of course, may be some adjusting needed because all tables are different, and some might be a larger threat for some and not a threat for others. Their type is the purpose the adversary serves. More on that in a little bit. The description area is simple. It is a short description of the adversary's appearance and behavior. Motives and tactics. Pretty much what is the goal of said adversary? These can be adjusted, of course. Difficulty is what it takes to hit that adversary. If the adversary has a difficulty of 12, that means the players need to roll a 12 or higher to hit the adversary. Adversaries also have their own damage thresholds, hit points, and stress. These function the same way as a player character's does. If you need more advice on what those are, check out my character portion of How to Play Daggerheart at the end of the video. Their attack modifier. Some adversaries have an attack modifier. An attack modifier is a bonus that you would add to the roll of your d20. They have a standard attack. This is what the adversary uses to attack, its range and the damage dice used, plus any modifiers. Adversaries have experience just like the players. That is also covered in my How to Play Daggerheart video. Features. These are abilities that the adversary has in a conflict. There are 3 kinds of features: passive, action, and reaction features. We'll also be breaking those down in more depth later. As mentioned before, let's break down adversary types. There are 10 adversary types, each serving varying purposes. First up, bruisers. Bruisers can take a ton of damage and deal it out. You have hordes, groups of identical characters acting together as a single force, kind of like a horde of zombies. Leaders. They are in charge and can summon other adversaries to aid them in battle. Minions. Minions are easy to kill, but don't let them outnumber you too much. They can be deadly together. Ranged enemies. Ranged enemies are weak when they are close, but they are very deadly further away. Skulks are adversaries that are better at ambushing enemies than fighting them head on. Socials. Conversational enemies rather than combative enemies. Kind of like that shopkeep that refuses to give you that much deserved discount. Solos. Powerful enemies on their own and with a group. Standards. The average soldier in a group. Supports. They are the ones that can enhance their allies and weaken their opponents. Adversary experiences are similar to that of the player character. Whatever experience provided or added by you can be added to the roll by spending fear for the players to spend hope. Adversary actions can be divided into 3 categories: your standard action, your reactions, and your passives. Every adversary has a standard attack and can be used whenever the spotlight is on the adversary, as long as they are in the required range or can move within range. Their standard attack is described by the name, its range requirement, the attack modifier, and how much damage it causes, typically described using a dice and a modifier. They do have unique attacks. Unique attacks are specialized attacks listed toward the bottom of the stat block. These are more specific to the character. They can range from a specialized attack, require the player character to make a reaction roll, and some can even change the battlefield. These can be used instead of a standard attack. Adversaries can do almost anything a player character can do. So if there is something you want the adversary to do, but it's not in the stat block, add it. You want that standard soldier not to be so standard? Find or come up with a cool move and add it to its moveset. Reactions are skills that aren't active until a specific requirement is met. You don't have to spend fear to activate it. Some reactions do have a specific fear requirement, but those are just to use it. You don't have to. Like in this example with the bear. When the bear makes a successful attack against a PC, you gain a fear. Passives are normally always available, unless there is a specific requirement to enact them. Here are some examples. The Cave Ogre has 2 passives. One activated using a fear, and one that just activates. Let's take a look. Ramp Up is activated when utilizing a fear, but once activated, you can attack all characters within the ogre's range, which is very close. Its second passive does not require a fear expenditure. Its Bonebreaker passive is that the Cave Ogre always deals direct damage, which is damage that cannot be reduced with armor. Fear features are features that require fear to be activated. They can be passives, actions, or reactions. They will let you know if there is a fear requirement. The Glass Snake's fear feature is Spitter. To use this, spend a fear to introduce a d6 Spitter die. When the snake is in the spotlight, roll this die. On a result of 5 or higher, all targets in front of the snake within far range must succeed on an agility reaction roll, or take 1d4 physical damage. The snake can take the spotlight a second time this GM turn. The Jagged Knife Lieutenant's fear feature is the Coup de Grace. Spend a fear to make an attack against a vulnerable target within close range. On a success, deal 2d6 plus 12 physical damage, and the target must mark a stress. Adversaries can be summoned to the battlefield when an adversary has the ability to do so. The summoned arrive at a specific distance from the one summoning them. Try to use these when you deem the moment correct, whether you want the fight to be more dangerous, or when you feel like it is a natural progression point during the conflict. Some features immediately allow you to put the spotlight on the adversary or multiple adversaries. These typically don't require a fear, but if they do, the ability will tell you. When spotlighting more than one, you get to decide which order the spotlight follows. When an adversary is spotlighted this way, you cannot use another adversary spotlighting feature. Here, I will discuss Daggerheart's advice on building an encounter. Building an encounter is not a 100% method. Some you build will be very easy for the players. Some will be more difficult than you thought. And every once in a while, you will make one that just works. Almost perfectly. It won't happen all the time, because there is a lot of randomness to it, but when it just works, it feels amazing. Battle points are the budget for the encounter that you have. When actively building, you will adjust on a few different factors. This is the Daggerheart provided formula for calculating battle points. 3 times the number of players at your table, plus 2. And remember to solve the parentheses first. So, I have a table of 4 players. That means it is 3 times 4, which equals 12. Now I need to add 2 to 12, which equals 14. You can add or subtract points, depending on how you want the flow of the fight to go. Subtract 1 point if you think the fight should be shorter or less difficult. Subtract 2 points if you are using 2 or more solo type adversaries. Subtract 2 points if you want to add a d4 to all adversaries' damage. Add 1 point if you choose an adversary from a lower tier. Add 1 point if you don't include any bruisers, hordes, leaders, or solos. You can also add 2 points if the fight should be more dangerous or last longer. Now that you have all those battle points, let's talk about how to spend them. Spend 1 point for each group of minions equal to the size of the party. Spend 1 point for each social or support adversary. Spend 2 points for each horde, ranged, skulk, or standard adversary. Spend 3 points for each leader, 4 points for each bruiser, and 5 points for each solo. Running combat effectively is one of the most difficult tasks of running any TTRPG. It takes time, repetition, and learning as you go. If the combats you are running are not what you thought they would be, then you're among thousands of other GMs. I remember years ago, I ran a D&D combat where my players fought against 3 chimeras. I know it is pronounced as chimera, it is an inside joke. But that combat was one of the best I have ever run. It just seemed to flow and have tons of moments where the players thought they weren't going to make it, but they worked together and were able to pull through. And since then, I have run some combats that were either too easy or too hard that required some on-the-spot maneuvering on my part. So don't be too hard on yourself. We are all always learning. If you want to learn how to improvise adversaries or build your own, make sure to subscribe, as I will be working on a video covering that very soon. And once again, thank you for watching. Keep that glass half full, and may your next combat be one of your best.